Hey coin collectors, Dan the Collecting Man here. Today I want to go through some of the classic British crowns, the ones that aren't silver, the copper nickel ones, but some of the ones that through Queen Elizabeth's era, some of the really cool important ones, and they can be a little bit collectible, but I want to go through each one, talk a little bit about it, what the mintages was and what the current rough value of each of those are, and then go through some of the others. We've got the two Australian and some old school silver ones and a current $5 coin, which is kind of the equivalent to a crown. So I'll go through a little bit about that information. Let's start off with the first one that had the king on there. So this one's from 1951. So it has the St. George and the Dragon. Now this is the first one that was copper nickel and not silver. So it's not this date because I don't have it, but it is from 1951. It is the Festival of Britain. It had a mintage of 1.983 million and it cost around $30. So it's a pretty good price given that it hasn't got silver. So it's one of the more expensive ones that you can get with the king on it. But the first one with the queen on it is this one here. So this is the 1953. This is the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. So this is a beautiful one to get. I love the design on this one. It's a nice classic, beautiful design there. So this one, as you can see, it's got 5 shillings on it, but this is a crown, and it had a mintage of 5,964,621, and you're looking around $5 for those because it was a reasonably high minted coin. Obviously you can get them in different conditions. This one's kind of in a reasonable but pretty good condition. I love it how it's got this emblem over there of Queen Elizabeth. So a nice one from 1953. So the next one we'll go to is, this one is a little bit more collectible because of its low mintage, and it has a very similar logo. You can easily get these two confused, and obviously this one here has got Queen Elizabeth on there, so you can definitely, I have seen people get these ones too confused because the logo is all but the same. But the difference is obviously with the year. This one is the expedition, British expedition to New York. This one only has a mintage of 1,024,038. And you're looking at around $13 for this one here. As you can see here, it's got a nice young effigy of Queen Elizabeth on there. So really cool one. I think this one's kind of neat, but it would have been cool if they had actually done a different logo there instead of doing the same one, I think. But still, love to know in the comments below if you've got any of these crowns in your collection. The next one from a design point of view is absolutely, I think it's really well done. So this was the passing of Sir Winston Churchill, probably one of the best prime ministers that I know of. Obviously it was well before my lifetime, but I think the way they've kind of blended it in his face there, I think it's really kind of unique, and I think it's kind of cool. Where the other ones have a more pronounced imagery, this one, the way it's kind of faded in there, it's almost like a ghost-like kind of thing with just Churchill written there. I think this is a beautiful design. So as you can see here, young Queen Elizabeth from 1965. This one has a high mintage of 19,640,000. So you're looking around $3 to $10 depending on the condition on this one. But definitely I think it's a nice cool one. It would have been great if these were in silver. They would have been absolute classic ones to keep from that aspect. The next one, we go into 1972. So this one here is for Queen Elizabeth's silver wedding anniversary. As you can see here, from 1947 to 1972 with Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip on the 20th of November. So not too bad. This one has a median mintage of 7,452,000, and you're looking roughly around $5 to $10 for those ones on the Australian market for those. But Not too bad. So this one here, you can see the difference where this one here, you've got a little bit of a different effigy on this one, and this one has the date down below, where this one doesn't have the date on this side, the date's on this side. So sometimes it would be good if there's some consistency in where they did that. The next one is the Silver Jubilee. So we kind of copied this design here, as you can see here, but just a little bit more pronounced and a little bit different. And it looks like the horse is a little bit different as well, as you can see here. So this one, the horse's head is a little bit more up, and this one is a little bit different. So you can see there's a difference in the horse and the tail. So it's a little bit like for like, but you can see the Queen is obviously a little bit older in this one. So this is the Queen Elizabeth's Silver Jubilee. This one has a quite high mintage of 37,061,160, and you're looking at around $5 for those, but sometimes you can get them for a little bit cheaper. But I do like this side here. This is really nice, where you got the crown there with all these flowers. It comes up really nice. So I think this one's a nice classic one, but like I said, it's got a very, very high mintage, so it should be pretty easy to obtain. The next one here, we've got the Queen Mother's 80th birthday. So as you can see here, it's got all these kind of little designs in there for the Queen Mother on her birthday. So it's got the August 1980. I can't quite see the date on that one. And on the back we've got Queen Elizabeth on that one, and it looks pretty cool. And this one has a mintage of 9,306,000, and you're looking around $4 for these ones. It's kind of funny because these are kind of $5 coins, and yet you can buy them for less than that, which is something different. And the last core one that we have is this one here, and I think this is kind of cool. This is 1981, the royal wedding of now, or obviously Prince Charles at the time, but King Charles and Princess Diana. And I think this is pretty good imagery of the two of them right there. And obviously that was a very popular wedding at the time. This one has a high mintage of 26,773,600, and you're looking around $6 for that one. So not too bad, but definitely pretty cool. So they're the key kind of ones with Queen Elizabeth that were crowns. Obviously we've got some of these ones. These are the classic ones. So this one's from 1889 with an older Queen Victoria on this one, and these have a pretty good high silver content. So you can definitely feel the weight difference between the two of them. That one with St. George and the Dragon design, absolute classic one to have. And this one's in pretty reasonable condition. And then we've got these two. So this one here is the Coronation of the King back in 1937. And then obviously they did a second year in 1938. These are the only two Australian crowns that were ever minted. And they have a pretty good silver content in them as well. So that's what makes them quite collectible. This one has a very low mintage, 1938, but this is 1937 when we had the Coronation of the King back then. So it's our first and only crown that we had. So from 1990 in the UK, all crowns ended up being $5. So this is my only $5 what we'd call crown. This is the Coronation of King Charles. So I thought it's pretty unique to get a coronation one. As you can see here, this is the Coronation of Queen Elizabeth. But this one is in near perfect condition at a 69. So this is the top quality, and not many of them have been graded at a 69. This also has the King Charles crowned effigy on there. So as you can see, some of these that have the effigy on there, they won't have a crowned effigy. So this one is quite limited, that it's the only one that you'll see with King Charles crowned effigy on there. I'm not sure what the value, because crown coins or $5 coins aren't as collectible as some of the coins that go into your general currency, but I still think it's pretty cool. I'm waiting to see what the mintage on this as well. See, I assume it might be a high mintage, but we're not sure what the mintage of this is going to be. But I love it how it's got the coronation date and obviously the king's crown that was there with the cipher and all that on it. So I think it's pretty unique, and I'm happy to have a top pop on that one. So that's my kind of crown collection. I do like I said, collecting them, but I want to get more into the silver crowns, the regional ones with the St. George of the Dragon, and get some of those kind of chord dates with coronations and different ones there that has some pretty cool effigies on there. I love the old British crowns. That's kind of something that I do like to collect, and I think it's kind of fun. Love to know in the comments below if it's something that you look at and like to collect as well, or do you have the 2 Australian crowns? I think they're pretty cool, but obviously they're too big to go in currency, so they're more of a collecting ones. I noticed the British ones that they do nowadays, they're more of those kind of alternative kind of ones, all random different things that don't have real true meaning to the UK. So like they might do a Star Wars one or some kind of random thing. So they're becoming a bit more of a gimmick than what they were back in the old day when I was really trying to celebrate something significant within history. But it now seems like they'll almost put anything on one of those $5 coins. So make sure you give us a thumbs up if you found this informative. Make sure there's a link down below if you want to support the channel, and shout out for buying me a coffee. And if you're not yet subscribed to Dan the Collecting Man, make sure you get your subscription in to stay up to date with all cool fun things coin collecting. And as always, thanks so much for watching and joining the coin collecting community. I'll catch you in my next video. Dan.